So this game, well, I was going to get started on that with the hate, but there's really no reason for me to hate. If you want to know everything that's wrong with this game, just type in !04 in chat, and Zeppy will do the rest. So anyway, I guess to kind of briefly explain the intro, also, hey Tonic, to kind of explain the intro, that at the start there you steal a V-Fire so that you burn the thing so that you can get up it faster. And then you steal a bomb so that you can kill this boss faster. Other than that, intro's pretty straightforward. Also, kind of a weird thing about this boss is that, like, if you hit him with any attack and you try to throw a bomb at him, like, the bomb will just go through him. But if you have the bomb hit something else, then you can actually still combo it. Hey, Yuki. Oh god. We'll get to cyberspace later. That stage is awful. Really awful. Also, hey, Cyron. So I guess Area 0, not a whole lot to say about this either. Other than the fact that if you're going for double jump, this is probably the only point in the game where you can actually get a gyro cannon. Which I initially did not get when I was working on this. I had to go in and hex edit the inputs in so that I could change the RNG so that I would get one. So yeah, it's right here. I just fired a few buster shots at the wall just so the RNG would change. So now at the end of the level, the cannon will give me a drop. Oh, so I'm just going to say this right now, the Z-Knuckle is actually a pretty good weapon. It's just nobody knows how to use it. And that kind of leads into the Saber, which got nerfed. Charge Slash and a charged Z-Knuckle do the exact same damage, so the best way to fight bosses is basically just charge Z-Knuckle and a triple slash. Well, that's until you get some combo moves at least. If you time that last combo just right, you'll get hit by that rock and it'll push you off and it saves you having to jump off the platform. Sorry about that, Hakuba, and also hey. So when it comes to boss order in Z4, there's two different things you can do. You can either do Popla first or Genblem first. Popla is more RTA friendly, but it's slower. Well, Genblem is a lot more risky, but it's a lot faster. This theory TAS is doing Genblem first, which, if it's your first time running this game, I recommend not doing. It's a really bad idea. For the sole reason being that the dragon mini-boss is just stupid. So anyway, this stage, well, if you're going for both junk and double jump, there's a lot of crap you gotta manipulate here. Well, first you gotta manipulate 2 Ganga guns. Which, well, since I got a buster weapon, I can do no problem. And then there's this guy. You have to Wiggletron for him if you don't have Time Stopper. And Wiggletroning with Saber isn't that bad. With Z-Knuckle, it's frame perfect. There's no lag when you hit stuff with the Z-Knuckle, so you pretty much have to hit left and right every frame in order to get the most amount of damage out of it. Well, Saber, you have like a 4-frame leeway. Also, right there, I got 1 Fatal and a Certanium and a part for junk, and then I'm going to get another Fatal right here. Since I need a Fatal for both junk armor and double jump. Genblem is an asshole, just to put it lightly. He only has one attack where you can combo him during. All his other attacks just stall, and quite often he'll just dodge you like a jerk. Like when he's in that kind of stance there, like you can't hurt him. And he does that a lot. Although one thing you can do is you can actually kind of antagonize him into doing a uppercut if you keep hitting him while he's in that stance. So it's kind of good if it's like, if you're just one hit away from killing him, you can just antagonize him to do a, like an uppercut, and then you can just get a punch off. So Fenry, not a whole lot to say about this stage. You get glass cannon in it, which the mini boss drops, and he spawns infinite amounts of those, so you don't have to worry about running out. Also, bottom path's much faster than upper because upper path you gotta sit through an elevator. You can just skip all that. Also, I'm very thankful that enemy dropped a part there, because it's much harder to manipulate junk parts than it is, like, parts to make junk than it is to manipulate parts which are for the actual junk armor, if that makes any sense. And yeah, it's just Wiggletroning. Kind of a dummy strat you can do there. You can just spam the up slash, and that works just as well. It's a little slower, but yeah. So charge slash to switch, because it starts the elevator up sooner. Also, I'm quite happy with this part here because I was able to grab a Met Hat. Best Z-Knuckle weapon in the game. It's a shame you only get to see it in this level. Fenry, his fight, pretty self-explanatory. Basically just charge, triple, up slash, and then at some point you just want to do just a jump slash and a up. Like right there. If you're really good, you can actually cancel out the triple slash animation by getting hit at the same time. So it saves a few frames. Soul Titanium stage. Well, it's the first stage, which you do with easy weather, and the sole reason for that is just because it makes it so that the heat doesn't take as long to reach 100%, which is pretty important. And even with that, if you try to do the stage as optimally as you can, you can still get really close to 100% at times. In fact, just trying to optimize the stage in general is really annoying, just because it's a long vertical stage. Like, I think I get like a 54 in this stage, and I still haven't cut the 1 in this, like in real time, like in one sitting. Just because this stage is just that much of a pain to do optimally. Mostly because you'll just waste several frames just waiting for Zero to land back on the ground. And also I swipe an axe earlier, which actually does more damage than the charge slash. Like it does 8 compared to 7. Also, I guess kind of a quick thing to explain about RNG in this game is when you do cutscene skip, unlike in Z3 where it's reset, it's set to whatever the level timer is, so that you can't manipulate any of the bosses. Like, it's pretty much frame perfect. And also much like Genblem, Soul Titanium, like she only has one move which you can combo her during. Fortunately, you have an axe, so even when she does just decide to hover in the air, you can still deal some damage to her. So, Popla stage, this is probably one of the few stages in the game which I actually like. Hey, RDD. Hope you're feeling better. So yeah, this is probably one of the few stages which is actually kind of fun to run. Like, especially when you're doing pacifist. I would use the axe, except for 2 reasons. 1, it only appears in 2 stages, and 2, when you do get junk armor, the axe's damage isn't doubled. Like, it'll do 8 damage regardless of whether or not you have junk. I see RDD. It's alright. So, Tower of Buttons, yeah, I don't have much to say about it. Other than that guy at the right can block you. So this is the Mecha Mason. You need him to drop a part, and then you need the thing inside him to drop a part. And look at the RNG value. Yeah. Like, have fun with that. This part, I still don't entirely get this part. Like, sometimes you'll just get damage boost forward, sometimes you don't. Also, I like how the RNG just stops freaking out the moment you skip the cutscene. Popla, do I need to explain anything? It's pretty straightforward. Like, he leaves himself so open to combos that he's pretty much a big joke. Now, I guess kind of one thing to say is that it doesn't matter, like, your rank doesn't matter that much, although you do want to be at B rank just to be safe, because some bosses, like Craft, Weil, have it moves which, when you're at A rank, they just stall even longer than they should. So, protecting the settlement, this is the last level in the game where you get junk parts. And the only one you get is a Moloid, which, interestingly, only appears in this stage, so if you miss the Moloid, you cannot make junk armor unless you do, like, a New Game Plus. Why did the chicken cross the road? Well, tell me, I don't know why. Not much to say here, just go through saving guys. Oh, also one thing is you can actually swipe the Moloid. It's basically the same properties as an axe, except it has more lag, has more landing lag. Although since I don't have knuckle equipped, I can't really take advantage of that. Oh, let me guess, it's the chicken, right? Okay, so for Craft, I actually don't go into this fight with the charge, and the reason for that is you actually don't have enough time to charge your weapon in order to, like, if you enter the fight trying to charge up, like, it'll just be half charged, so there's no point in entering it with charge attacks. Also, that Craft fight makes up for that awful Craft fight, which was in my first theory task this game, which I'm so glad no one saw. Sorry, Hakuwa. Junk armor. Hope you can read Japanese, because I know I can't. Oh yeah, Kirby and Branch were stuck on Craft for like forever. But then again, he's one of the few hard bosses in this game. Kind of the funny thing about Z4 is that casually it's really easy, but when you're speedrunning it, it's just an absolute nightmare. So this stage, don't really have much to say about it either. It's craft. Yeah. So this right here is when I equip the junk armor. Now, pretty much what junk armor does is it doubles your attack, but it halves your defense. So, while I can destroy these bosses in a matter of seconds, they can destroy me in a matter of seconds too. Now, as for this guy, there's a pretty frame-perfect triple slash you can do right here. It's really weird how that triple slash works. It's where the triple slash hitbox still comes out, but the animation of Zero doing the Zero doing the triple slash gets cancelled out. It's kind of weird. Kraft macaroni and cheese. Yeah, that's what I used to call them. So I guess to kind of explain how much damage you'll probably be taking when you got the junk armor on, you'll be taking about 8 damage on average, which is about half your health. All this Japanese in my chat, I can't read. So yeah, this part here should be free, except for the fact that everything kills you in one hit. Well, one hit with the amount of health I have. Oh, I see. Like, I would translate except for the fact that I'm on MIRC right now. Like, I'm not using Twitch chat. Like, double-clicking won't do anything. So, not really a whole lot I can say about this stage. Having to get through those things optimally is an absolute pain. I guess kind of a little quick thing to mention how I'm thinking about it is, whenever you hit something with Saber, it lags the game for 4 frames, but if you hit something with Z-Knuckle, it doesn't, so you can save small amounts of time by killing stuff with Z-Knuckle over Saber. Oh, some more Wiggletroning. If you're bad at Wiggletroning, one thing you can do is you can equip Time Stopper there and then just shoot the Time Stopper at him and then Charge Slash him. It wastes a little bit of time having to do an extra menu, but if you're bad at Wiggletroning, well, that option's there. Also, if you're feeling a little incompetent, there's an energy tank, there's a sub-tank back there. That part there, going the bottom route's only faster if you do it optimally. If you can't do it optimally, then just take the top path. So I would describe the bosses, except for the fact that it kind of describes itself. You just do combos and they die. Although, one thing you're not seeing is the boss is stalling, which is, well, in that boss's case, where basically Mandrago will dig into the ground and start appearing in random places in the room. If she does do that move, you want her to appear on the ground so they can actually keep doing combos on her. But sometimes she'll appear on the ceiling and all you can really do is just charge attack. Though you can pull her out with the knuckle, though I don't know if that's that helpful or not. This part's pretty straightforward. Also use that time to equip Time Stopper for a good reason. Yep, out of the 8 main bosses, 2 of them are female. And this is the dragon. And that was the dragon. That never gets old. So for this part, not really much to say about it either, other than you can do these 2 damage boosts here to save a really small amount of time. And also a nice thing about when you hit something with Time Stopper is that you can just dash through it. This, well, I'm not even going to say anything. He dies. I mean, it kind of does feel like Mega Man 9. Both games have dumb amounts of RNG. Oh, also, I guess to kind of explain my boss order is Mandra go for down stab, Kraken for Ice Javelin. Ice Javelin also being a really good Buster X skill. Which you'll see in this next coming boss why it's so good. So for this stage, you set the weather to easy because on hard weather, like you get this wind that just pushes you back, and that slows you down. Not only that, but the stage is a pain in hard weather anyway because there's just clouds blocking platforms. Trying to wall jump off anything is a pain. And that's the most optimal way to go upstairs. It's a lot harder than it looks. It is possible to do in real time. And that was another dragon. Now, one thing you can do is you can equip Ice Javelin right after you beat that dragon. Although, I prefer to just keep Time Stopper. Just because I like it more. Pretty much both do the same thing, they just stun enemies. Like right here I have to equip it, because I need it for the boss. This boss, he's pretty much an asshole, and you're going to see the best case scenario of this. Yeah. Most of the time, he'll just dodge the Ice Javelin by flying upwards, and when he does that, he laughs at you, and it's just annoying. Or he'll just do this other attack where he gains iframes for a brief period of time. It's dumb. Like, just trying to hit him with the Ice Javelin is... Like, even when he does cooperate, just trying to hit him with it, it's hard. This is normal mode. If this were easy mode, there would be no X skills. So for Mino stage, you actually do want to set it to be hard weather, because it's actually faster cleaning a stage with the weather set to hard because of the low gravity. Also, yeah, I would be taking a much less damage on easy. Like, instead of taking 8 damage, I'd be taking like 2. Like, you can actually be reckless with the junk armor on easy. Also, this is probably my favorite stage in the game, just because it's just, there's nothing stupid about it. Like, it's just all execution and just fun, low gravity. Also, that's another mini-boss. Also, kind of another funny thing about, like, one of the reasons why I didn't eventually end up banning easy is just because it's way too similar to alternate mode. Like, it's basically a bitch version of ultimate mode, so what's the point of having it? So yeah, that entire section there is much faster when the weather's on hard. Because if it's on easy weather, then you gotta just it's really slow because you can't make those jumps. This guy hits hard, but he dies fast. Like, actually, when I was looking at all the categories, like, from an optimal level, I think they pretty much all came to this. They pretty much were all the same, as in that you get junk armor, and any extra thing that was in said category is just gone. Like, if you're doing ultimate mode run, you gotta disable the elf so you can have junk armor. So only, like, the first half of the game's, like, this different. Although I guess hard mode would be kind of the only one that's got a lot of differences. Although in that, you're basically just punching everything, because it's the only thing that you can really just do anything with. Also, you can't skip this cutscene for some reason. This stage. There are 2 different ways you can do this stage, with and without double jump. If you go for double jump, it only saves about, I believe it only saves 5 seconds overall. If you're to do compared to having no double jump. Although, I think the reason you still want to get double jump is doing this stage without double jump optimally is actually extremely difficult. And if you do screw it up, then you lose a ton of time. So even if it's just a 5-second time save, it's just safer to get. Like this part here, like imagine trying to do this without double jump. Like you still do it semi-fast, but not this fast. And that's the only stage you use double jump for. So Craft 2, well, he dies. Pretty much. He dead, yo. We got Pegasus doesn't meet up. There are so many instances where if Pegasus could be harmed by the up slash, that'd make my life so much easier. Like just up when the down, like that helps so much. Yeah, it's a cool looking stage, but then you try to speedrun it. So I guess next stage, since there's a long cutscene you gotta sit through, that you can't skip. It's basically the 4-way stage, and it's... Z4's endgame is pretty nasty since it's extremely easy to die. And this is probably the tamest of the 4 stages. Like, there's not really anything that can outright kill you. Like, your main worry is just the boss. And I'll get to that in a bit. So I guess to start out, you want to take the top path first, I think, just because it's just more optimal, like, just from, like, moving across the screen and such. Yeah, not much to really say here, you just climb up. Trying to cancel that one guy's thing is just harder than it looks. It's more precise than it looks. Also, if you try to go on those doors, like, really quickly, like, they actually won't open. Like, you actually have to wait a bit before they'll open. So I kind of made a minor mistake here where I didn't grab a V-Fire in the top section, so I had to Wiggletron that guy there. Like, if I grabbed a V-Fire, I could have just shot, like, I could have just grabbed a V-Fire, then shot him, and then just charge slashed him. And saved, like, I don't know, like 4 or 5 frames. Also, kind of interesting thing is that there's actually a 1-frame window when, like, when you're coming out a door that's, like, in midair, that you can actually dash jump out of it. Also, I grab a Ganga gun there, because you'll see why for the next room. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that at the start of the run. You gotta do this intro stage with Type A control, and it's really awful. So, this room's supposed to be really slow, except you can do that. And then climbing back up is a pain just because of the way the wall's shaped. So not really a whole lot I could say here other than that if you grab those frogs with the Z-Knuckle, you'll basically get something that's like the chain rod if the chain rod couldn't grab on anything. It's kind of amusing. So, to describe the boss here is, you can either dies in 4 seconds or he wastes a ton of time. Because what he'll do is he'll go into the background and then he'll just start shooting stuff at you. Or he'll do this. And when he does that, then yeah, you can just kill him like, really quickly. Oh yeah, it's like that reason right there for Z4 being bad. It's like I could probably memorize the Japanese for all the junk armor parts, but then there are the 6 random parts, and it's like, what do you do about that? Like just memorize everything that's in the game. Cyberspace, this level sucks. Pretty much everything in it kills you in like 2 hits, and it's just there to slow you down, like these things here, like if you're not optimal, they'll probably block you and stuff. Like this one here, I gotta take a hit on. Like that, like unless you don't do that wall jump, you gotta just wait for it to end. And also, I'm really thankful this enemy here gave me a health drop, because I need to take a hit on the boss too. And then there's this part here where I don't entirely know how the platforms work though. I think they're on like I think they're kind of like on a global timer, but I don't entirely know yet. And then there's this part. That part wouldn't scare me if it weren't for the fact that those things did 10 damage, which so happens to be the exact amount I have. Cyball's static, he's pretty free. The only thing you have to worry about is when you try to hit him with the Z-Knuckle that you don't accidentally grab the platform. Oh yeah, the song's the only good thing about the stage. Everything else about it sucks. In fact, the song's so good it appeared in Rockman CO, which will be out, I'd say, sometime this lifetime. So final stage, you gotta fight 9 bosses, one of them which has 2 forms, none of them you can manipulate. All this while you die in 2 hits, so have fun. Also, for some reason, you actually can't make that jump. You just do a jump normally. You gotta, like, wall jump off the side of the Fatal. So, hey, Tag. So even though these bosses can be absolute dicks, they still die really quick like that. And And due to the way Z4's combo system works is you're probably going to be doing a lot of weird looking combos on him. Also, I kind of recommend going into this fight with the Z-Knuckle equipped because sometimes Kraken will actually he'll go into like this little void and start stalling. And if he does go into that void, you can pull out the Z-Knuckle. So yeah. Like, you do want to pause sometime during this boss rush to switch to Buster, but before you do, fight Kraken. So this boss, well, if you saw that video I posted in IRC like yesterday, like it took me 2 minutes to kill her. Yeah. And that's a dead chicken. Oh yeah, the voice acting in this game is great. In fact, they sound even better in the boss rush. Because they actually gave him different voice clips for the boss rush. I don't have a 0-2 command yet. Why 0-2 is a terrible speed game cutscenes. There you go. Also, by the way, if you're doing this boss rush, you want to grab health after each fight if you took a hit. I mean, going into one of these with, like, no health is a really bad idea. Yeah, C3 is my favorite just because it just flows really well. There's lots of neat things to work with, no, like, cutscene skip, RNGs, there's, like, hardly any of it. Last part, not much to say about it other than if you're for some reason deciding to do this without junk armor, you'd want to grab an axe sometime during this part. So while he's pretty much like a whole bunch of the other bosses in this game, where he either dies really quickly or he wastes a ton of time. Like, he has a move where he goes in the background, he has a move where he summons all the bosses. In fact, the move where he summons all the bosses, if you're B rank, he'll summon a few of them. This way of fighting Wile's final form is really hard to do. Doing that quick kill is really hard to do. You gotta, like, not only do you have to be really precise with your combo, but you need to do that last combo without being able to properly see zero. So that's Z4. So it's 38, 39. I think the current fastest time is like a 50-something. Like it's like a 50... I want to say 50-14, I can't remember. But either way, it kind of just proves that there is a shitload of time you can save in this game. Like, I'd say in RTA, I'd say like a sub, I don't know. I'd say sub 42 is probably possible. Maybe 41. You could probably get sub 45 without junk armor. Also, I left in credits just because it's a crime to skip this ending. So I think the game time is like a minute off the TAS too, which is actually pretty good. bounty for sub 40. I don't think sub 40 in this is possible. Given with the amount of RNG that's in this game and just how much can go wrong, I don't think it's possible. Sub 40 round 1 sounds more generous. And even then, that's kind of pushing it. No, yeah, by the way, Zero, he dead, yo. I've said that twice, but I don't care. It's a good quote. See, Zero's not dead, he's right there. So yeah, it's like... Like I knew for a long time this game could be heavily improved, and yeah, like this game's in desperate need of a good run. I also hate Blue Ocean. Like, I'm just putting it out there, like, you could probably get sub 45 without junk armor. Like if that's what's scaring people about it, it's just, you don't need it to junk armor to get a good time. It's like Clock All Route in Z3. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that too. During Genblem stage, RNG changes every frame. During the particle beam part. Oh, Zero looks kind of awkward there now. Okay, there are only two good things about this game, the music and Z-Knuckle. Everything else sucks. like, I know I'm probably in the unpopular opinion on saying Z-Knuckle sucks, but it's, like, and saying it's good, but it's actually, you just need to know how to use it. And also, yeah, there's the game time for if anyone's curious. You know, it's already on the screen.